Hey there, Steve Rubis with another installment of Capital Markets Investor Relations in 2 minutes or less. It's a beautiful Sunday in May in Chicago, and that means I'm on location. And today I'm in the beautiful village of Dolton, Illinois, and most people will know that this is the childhood home of Pope Leo XIV. And that brings me to the topic of today's video, and that is, what does Pope Leo XIV have to do with investor relations? And I want to start with a great quote from the former coach of North Carolina State, 𝗟𝗏𝗻, who once said, "God makes a lot of ordinary people to do extraordinary things." And I think this cuts to the heart of why there is so much excitement and fervor, especially in Chicago, over the election of Pope Leo XIV. It's his ordinariness and the accessibility and relatability to him as a person versus a figurehead of the Catholic Church. And it's amazing hearing the stories here in Chicago of people who ran into him at Aurelio's in Homewood a year ago, people who sat next to him at the White Sox World Series in 2005 at Comiskey Park, or the women who grew up with him and played Red Rover with him as a child. It's all of this that makes this person relatable, accessible, and ordinary to the people of the Catholic Church, and is what's driving this great rejuvenation. And I think this is what brings us to investor relations. A lot of times if you're an executive or if you're an IR professional looking for a role, the focus is, how do we find this pristine candidate who checks 10,000 boxes? The archetype is a person who's worked at a Fortune 500 firm for 20 years, Google, Amazon, wherever, or just a person who's been somewhere for 5, 10, 15 years. And the problem is this doesn't really cut to the heart of what makes successful investor relations. If you're an executive that is looking to change the perception of your company, you need to find someone who is relatable, accessible, ordinary to investors, someone who can meet them where they are to convince them that you're the right person to run the company. You have the right plan in place, the right strategy. And if you hire the right person, again, it's about their reputation with investors, how accessible they are to investors, and how engaging they are to investors versus the amount of time that they've sat in a given seat is what's going to drive success. And more importantly, it's what's going to change the perception of your company on a dime. And if you hire one of these people, man or woman, who can really drive that accessibility, relatability, and connection with the investor base, that's where you're really going to start to unlock shareholder value, because people are going to give you credibility, they're going to understand your story, they're going to trust that you're the right executive to run this company with the right strategy that you have discussed with the investor base. So remember, always look for that IR person who's ordinary, relatable, and accessible. You won't regret it because you'll unlock a lot of shareholder value. Thanks for watching.